Good evening. Hey, good evening. Welcome to Cedar Springs High School for what I consider the first annual Red Hawk Rising. Can I please, if you'd consider giving it up for someone who really brought the energy, the atmosphere, the climate for tonight, none other than our very own 2023 alum, DJ Spice Grizz. Can you shake it out for him here tonight? Thank you, DJ Spice Grizz. Really appreciate you. I also want to thank Coach H up in the rafters for his willingness to film this event. So for two reasons. Number one, if you missed something tonight, you'll get a video copy of this tomorrow via our district office. And number two, if there's any bloopers, you can post them on your social. We're here for all the fun here tonight. My name's Todd Simmons. It gives me great pleasure, and I consider myself blessed to serve our students of this great community at Cedar Springs High School. This is I've only been here a year and a half, but I could tell you, as I told our seniors yesterday when we met with all 250 of them, it has been an awesome year and a half. I love this place. I love our kids. I love our educators, and I love this community. I tell people from where I came from, this place has an it factor. Cedar Springs has an it factor. There's just something about this place. It's the character, it's the cohesiveness, it's the attitude, and I'm just so excited to get us to our intent in this building, and we'll share that here shortly. If we can transition to the next slide. I want to take some time to introduce some folks, and I'm going to start with none other than Mrs. McDonald. I think everybody in the house knows Mrs. Mack. She runs the show just down the alley at Red Hawk Intermediate. I'm going to have her come on up here and kind of, shake it out for her. We love Mrs. Mack. I'm just going to ask Mrs. Mack to do two things. Number one, to introduce her teammates that she brought along. They're volunteering their time to be here with you, parents, and be here with you, 8th graders. And then number two, I want her to kind of share the why behind the what. In other words, what was the impetus of this night? Why did she survey all of her students and all of her parents to try to guide our steps in this Red Hawk Rising event? So first, I'll let her introduce her teammates and then kind of share the why behind the what. Here's Mrs. Mack.
Thank you. I'm excited to see so many of you guys still made it out for this event. So we also have some teachers here tonight from Red Hawk. We have Mrs. Workman, Mrs. McLaren, Mrs. Osling, and Mr. Myers. And Mr. Plain, who also comes with us 6th hour. So thank you so much for those of you that took time to fill out that survey that we sent out. The purpose of that was really to try and meet the kids' needs as far as the transition goes to the high school. So we've had opportunities this year to really collaborate with the high school. We had some students on Monday come shadow high school students, and they got to sit in their classes. We had 4 kids do that. If you were one of those 4 and you're here, could you stand up really quick? Because that was super brave. Nice job. So they're going to be sharing part of their experience at the 8th grade building and giving students some of that inside information that they got from their day here on Monday. So we are excited to be here tonight and really walk alongside all of you and your kids to make this transition for them as smooth and exciting as possible. We want our kids to be able to come here next year and just be ready to go. And we want them to feel confident when they go to schedule their classes here in the next couple weeks. So I'm going to hand it back over to Mr. Simmons. Thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. Mack. So I was reflecting on this event leading up to it over the last week, and two things came to mind, and Ms. Mack does not know I'm about to share this. Number one was we last year and leading into this year did a poor job of launching our freshmen. We did a poor job launching our freshmen. We did not do a quality job of setting up our newest Red Hawks for success. And we want to change our best. And the second part that she didn't know I was going to share with you, as I reflected on how are we going to change our best, how are we going to do a better job to make it a champion experience for our newest students, I thought we could not have a better teammate than Mrs. Mack to help us get here. Because, come on. Because you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody as passionate about her kids as her. You'd have a hard time finding someone who is as innovative as her, and you'd have a hard time finding someone as talented as her. So thankful to be able to work alongside Mrs. Mack. She's a true champion for our Cedar Springs kids. Next, I want to introduce some of my other teammates. Some of them aren't able to be here tonight, but I still want to draw mention to them. First of all, you guys know Mr. Ray, the 8th grade counselor. I also want to introduce our school resource officer, who has absolutely changed the climate and culture of this building this year, and that's Mr. Officer Charlie Price. Mr. Price, raise your hand. I want to introduce Mrs. Cooey, and she is going to be talking along with Mr. Johns as we get through some information. If your last name starts with A or anywhere in between up to F, she will be your counselor next year. You will direct your academic, your graduation, your next steps, career and college readiness questions to Mrs. Cooey if your last name is A through F. Then Mrs. Seabolt, you can see if your last name is G through O, or you'll go to Mr. Sloggy if your last name is P through Z. The next person I want to introduce is Mrs. Paoni. Where did she go? There she is. Mrs. Paoni is our lead in terms of mental health counseling. Mrs. Paoni, again, is an absolute champion for children. She is someone who is constantly there for our kids, and I want you to make sure that you put a face to that name before you leave here this evening. Also, Mr. Johns, who's the brains of this operation, you'll get a chance to see him later this evening. Mr. Moffitt, who is our assistant principal AD, who's running the game down in the gym. The man, the myth, the legend, last year, not to put any pressure on our audience, last year at this time, the entire crowd gave a standing ovation, not to hint at all, hint, hint, but the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who runs the show around here for our students, Mr. Duffy. Oh, there it is. There it is. There, oh. I love it. Thank you for picking up on that blatant hint. And then I'm Mr. Simmons. All right, next slide. All right, I'm going to invite Mr. J up here to explain a little bit more in detail about this event and a parallel that I think we all can relate to.
All right, thanks, Mr. Simmons. So I'm Eddie Johns, and I'm excited that you are here. And when we got the title for this event, Red Hawk Rising, I did wonder, is that just nice alliteration, the Red Hawk Rising, or does rising mean a little more? So I did what any millennial would do, and I Googled rising, and it not only means to go up, but related to birds, rising is when a bird has its wings open, but it's not fully in flight. And I was like, this is perfect, because as 8th grade students at Red Hawk Intermediate, you are on your way up to the high school. And at the high school, we have this acronym called SOAR, because at the high school, we soar. And what that stands for is we strive, we are optimistic, we accept, and we are responsible. So as you are in your last semester of 8th grade and you're making those connections with peers and teachers, and as you're trying your best academically, as you are preparing for high school, as you're preparing to soar, you are rising. So I thought that was a fitting term, and I just wanted to break down some of that word vocab for you tonight. We do have some. Oh, I hand it back over to Mr. Simmons here. He's going to guide us through at the high school. We have a very clear intent and vision for you as students.
Thanks, Mr. J. First, I want to make this very clear. I say this to every class that enters our building. Our intent and our vision. Our intent is our why. Our vision is our how. In other words, our intent is to reach that first bullet point. That's our why for coming here every day. And then our vision is kind of that map of how we're going to get there. So our intent in this building is to be the number one holistic school in the state for all of our students. That's not something that'll be quantified or qualified in a state publication or national magazine. It's not something that the MDE would deem, or how many state titles we win, or how many number ones we get at a festival for band or the arts, but rather for each of our 1,100 kids that walk through that threshold, either through the Y at door 13 every morning or through door 1. We want this to be the number one school in the state for them. How are we going to get there? Through one expectation and one expectation alone. We expect every one of our stakeholders, that's student, that's educator, that's parent, to bring their absolute God-given personal best every day. In other words, or if you were to try to make that tangible, to see it, it's a champion attitude, a champion work ethic, and a champion character every single day. And as parents, as guardians, as folks who are sometimes just trudging along, grinding, trying to find a way just to make ends meet, we recognize that mustering a champion attitude every day is not an easy feat. Bringing a champion work ethic to our vocation every day, it's not simple. And then trying to stay above reproach, having champion integrity in every context. That's easily said, it's sometimes hard to do. But that's what we expect. And that same thing that we expect from our kids, from our teachers, from our parents, you can expect from me. I promise to our kids every year, you will not find someone who will bring a better attitude, a better work ethic, or a higher integrity than me. And the same is expected in return. That is our only expectation, and that's the number one way we'll get to our intent. Number 2, we're huge on empowerment. We're constantly telling our kids and educators, own it. Own it. For those of you who rented an apartment, maybe in college or prior to having a family, you'll recognize there's a difference between how you treated that apartment than how you treated your first home. Parents, I see some head nods. I know Castle alum number 23 on the campus of Central Michigan University in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, can attest to the way that 6 teenage to low 20 age boys treated that apartment. The holes in the drywall tell stories. But now if you go to my house over on 13 Mile, my queen and I, my wife, we treat that thing like it's a castle. That's how we want our students to treat their school. We want them to feel empowered to own it. We want our educators to feel empowered to own it. We want you as parents to feel empowered to own your school, because we know when people own things, not only do they treat them better, but it's going to get us to that intent a heck of a lot quicker. Finally, process over results. In my experience, results are fleeting. You're not going to win every day. You're not going to win every game. You're not going to ace every test. You're not going to get that result you want in every context every day. But one thing that has to remain the same throughout is your process. A daily champion process. In other words, bringing that personal best every single day, regardless of how you feel. That process is what we expect here every day, because we know that champion process brings champion results. Those 3 vision targets will help. No, they won't help. They will make us get to that intent. I have experience in that, and that's how we're going to become the number one holistic school in our state. Next, we're going to transition, Mr. J, if you will, to our student panel. So you parents and you students helped us with this. You sent Mrs. Mack a boat ton of responses. What are the things you're concerned about next year for your students? What are you concerned about coming here next year? We encapsulated it into, I think, about 7, 8 questions. We brought in the absolute best of the best. They're right here before you with their smiling faces, and they're going to help us answer these questions. So, if you guys can start handing out the mics there. Mel, you want to grab the mics and hand them down? The first question: how do you find your way around with the size of the high school? So this is a big school. Like I said, 1,100 kids come here every day. We've got about 85 adults in the building as staff. We were asked by either students or parents of our 8th graders, how do you find your way around here? So we're going to have our esteemed student panel. First, they're going to introduce themselves, their name. They're going to say what grade they're in, and then they're going to give one interesting fact before they answer the question. So, student panel, how do you find your way around here? Who's going first? Okay. Tabes, go ahead. Introduce yourself, your grade, and an interesting fact.
My name is Sabrina Tabor. I'm a junior here, and I think one thing that helps me find my way around school is on Power School, it says what room number it is, and so that can help you find where to go.
Tabes, did you give an interesting fact?
My interesting fact is I play soccer.
Okay, Sabrina Tabor plays soccer, and she said she finds her way around this building is just by accessing Power School, because it shows the room number right next to the class in Power School. Okay. Dom?
Hello, my name is Dominic Gomez-Russell. I'm a senior here at Cedar Springs, obviously. And one interesting thing about myself is I fell about 100 foot off a bridge rappelling. Only chipped a tooth though, so we're all good. One thing that I find easiest, or finding my way around the school, at least starting here, is just asking teachers. They're all really nice people, so you can trust them.
Say that one more time for the people in the back. Not that he chipped his tooth rappelling, but that he said, and I repeat, you can just ask the teachers. They're really nice folks. Okay, one more? Do we have one more? No? Okay, next question. What helped you most in your 9th grade year? What helped you guys most in your 9th grade year? Mel, you're going? Okay, Mel, first introduce yourself, your grade, and an interesting fact.
I'm Melody McIntosh. One interesting fact, I've played basketball most of my life. And what helped me get through my 9th grade year is finding upperclassmen as friends to help me get around and help me keep up on my work and stuff, and getting to teachers and asking them what you can do best to academically help you.
Wait a minute, Mel. You talked to upperclassmen as a freshman? You actually talked to upperclassmen?
Yeah, it's not as scary as it seems.
Thanks, Mel. What else helped you as your 9th grade year?
Sorry, go for it. Go for it.
My name is Sandra Grenier, and my interesting fact is that I'm a triplet. Something that helped me throughout freshman year was probably finding a good group of friends. And, most of my friends are upperclassmen, so that helps too, I guess.
Thanks, G. Did everybody catch she's a triplet? Big-time leader within our student council. Cass, did you say that you found friends that were also upperclassmen? Thank you. Anybody else want to answer this? Hope?
I can go. My name's Hope Alvarez. I'm a senior. And what helped me the most when I was a 9th grader was knowing to walk on the right side of the hallway. You will get ran over from experience if you walk on the left side of the hallway. What also helped was just looking for the people that talk the most in the room. They're normally the most inviting if they're willing to talk a lot. Normally they are willing to catch a conversation with you and start a conversation, so it's just good to find the people that talk the most.
Thanks, Hope. Did our students catch that? It's just like driving in our great country. You stay on the right side of the road. You're not in jolly old England. Okay. Next one. What's it like with the seniors? What's it like with the seniors in this building? Go ahead, HB. Eli, speak real tight, almost like you're eating the mic.
I am Eli Kleinberg. Fun fact about me is I'm the president of FFA here at the high school. I'm a 12th grader. What I find is that most of the 12th graders in our high school are really inviting to the freshmen and are nice.
Did you guys catch that Eli's the president of our FFA? Okay, and he said that most of the seniors are really nice. Awesome. Who else? Go ahead, HB.
My name is Haley Beamer. I am a 12th grader here. One thing about 12th graders in the building, you really don't have to worry about them. Like Eli said, a lot of us are very inviting, but we also, if we don't seem inviting, it's because we're so focused on our last year here and just passing all of our classes so we can graduate and move on to the next step of our lives. So most of us, we just kind of keep to ourselves.
Thanks, HB. All right, next question. How do you schedule classes? I know that came up a lot. How do you schedule classes?
My name is Jersey Saya. I'm a junior here, and my fun fact is I am part of the FFA program at Cedar Springs. Scheduling classes is really easy. You have a counselor that comes into your classroom, and you go through Power School, and you just select whatever class you want.
Thanks, Jers. Hope, go ahead.
Oh, if you're ever like within the first 2 weeks of you being at the high school, if you were to ever like need to edit your schedule or change it, any email you get from your counselor, I'm sure they'll send out one being like, "Hey, I'm your counselor," for the time you're at the high school. At the bottom of it, it always says schedule an appointment on it, and then you'll have about a 15-minute time frame that you can talk and ask any of your concerns or questions to your counselors about your classes. If you have the first few days and you're like, "Oh, I don't think this is a good fit," then they'll try to find you where you fit.
I think it's also helpful to sit down and talk with your parents about it, because your parents are the two people in the world that know you the best, and it's very helpful for them to help you decide.
That's great insight. Again, I want to reiterate, if your last name is A through F, remember you're with Mrs. Cooey. G through O, thank you, Mrs. Seabolt, and then P through Z, Mr. Sloggy. And then to Cass's point, I can't tell you how many parents come to me or to our counseling team and say, "I had no idea they scheduled that. I had no idea they took that. I had no idea they signed up for that." Have those conversations, parent and child. It's so important that all three legs of the stool are strong. Student, parent, educators. That makes an effective educational experience. How about this next one? Are there any clubs to join?
Here at Cedar Springs, we have like 15 to 20 clubs for students, not including athletics.
Yeah, so that's above and beyond athletics, right? 15 to 20 clubs, everything from the aforementioned FFA to fishing club, everything from the new Pokemon club to Dungeons and Dragons, everything from cornhole club. What? Cornhole club to what else do we have that I'm forgetting? Card club, art club is very popular on Mondays. You'll see it here up on the list soon. All right, next question. Can students use the elevator? Couldn't believe how many times this came up in the survey. Go ahead, gang.
You sure can. During the winter time, I dislocated my knee, was on crutches for a little bit, so I did have to use the elevator to go upstairs. No one really cares if you use it either.
What I'd like to add to that is that if you're not like disabled, I mean, you probably shouldn't use the elevator.
Period. Next question. Are people going to be nice?
A lot of people are nice, but you also have to come in thinking that not everyone is super inviting. Not everybody is going to be nice. So again, just look for the people that look nice. The people that are keeping to themselves might either be nervous or not nice.
To add on to what Hope said is a lot of the people that are going to be nice are the people that are very talkative and talk to everybody. They're really outgoing people. Some people just have resting faces, but they're still really nice. But you can't come in anywhere in life actually to expect that people are going to be nice. You have to look for the right people. You have to know what to look for and just get yourself out there and be yourself. You'll find people that are exactly like you, and those make the best friend group that you could have.
Also in high school, people feel the pressure of like the spotlight effect more, which is where you feel like everybody's talking about you or everybody's looking about you. But more than 90% of the time, people really aren't. They're minding their own business, and they really are just trying to get through high school.
So I'm a sophomore this year, so that means I was a freshman last year. And coming in freshman year, I did have friends from 8th grade and 7th grade, but I would say joining clubs definitely helps, and the people here are genuinely nice. I don't think I've really come in contact with someone who hasn't been nice.
When I came to my freshman year, almost all of my middle school friends kind of went separate ways. And so what helped me to find the nicer people was, again, joining clubs. Like with FFA, you just get to meet a lot of new people and even people from other schools.
Again, if you don't hear anything that or if you don't take anything from tonight other than this, parents, students, get plugged in. Get plugged in. School's not meant to be a 7:38 to 2:18 experience. That's not school. We grind too hard in our classrooms. It's too much work from 7:38 to 2:18 for that to be it. Get plugged into a club. Get plugged into an athletic team. Get plugged in. Make school more than just academia. Last question. Who can I go to for help?
Pretty much everybody in the building. Almost all of the teachers are very helpful. The counselors are very helpful. All you have to do is look for a staff member that you trust with, well, I wouldn't say with your life, but that you trust a lot, and go to them for help, whether it's academically, emotionally, it doesn't matter. All of them are willing to help.
I feel like another thing to go with that is like don't be afraid to ask for help. No one's gonna like judge you if you can't figure something out or something. Like everyone has also asked that question, so don't be afraid to like go and ask it, and then you could be answering somebody else's question too.
That's real talk, guys. That's real talk from the foxhole. It doesn't get any realer than this. Can you shake it out for our student panel? Stay right here. I think most of our student panel is able to stay for when we dismiss. If you have some real talk questions for our students, go to them. They're also willing to take you on a tour if you want to see certain parts of the building where you're nervous about how to get to, I don't know, to art, or how to get up to, Mrs. Holmes in the foreign language wing. They'll help you after this event. But I really appreciate them owning their school. Champions right there, champions. Let's transition to the next slide. This is where we're headed. 4.5 years. It's an emotional night. It's a culmination of a grind. It's a culmination of a champion process leading to a champion result. Before I turn it over to the brains of the operation, Mrs. Cooey and Mr. Johns, I want to say this. Parents, students, if I could give you a bit of advice. First day of school this August. whatever day it is, August 23rd. Have you ever seen those people using a treadmill where they're kind of standing on the rails, but they have the treadmill going real fast? You know what I'm talking about? Hit the treadmill running. Otherwise, hit the treadmill running. August 23rd, 2024. Do not ease into it. Parents, kids, just run through door 13. Sprint through door 1 when mom drops you off. And don't stop sprinting until that day 4 years later. We could sleep when we're dead. Let's make that a reality for all 250. And the only way I know how, the only way I was raised, the only experience I have is via personal best. Sprint with a champion attitude, sprint with a champion work ethic, sprint with champion character, and let's see what happens 4 years later when the dust settles. I think what you will see is Mr. Scott Smith, our superintendent, standing before you on a stage at Red Hawk Stadium with a piece of paper that will absolutely increase the likelihood of vocational, social, socioeconomic success in your future. Personal best is success. Let's hit the ground running on August 23rd, 2024. All right, next slide. Let's turn this over to Mr. Johns and Mrs. Cooey.
So this event tonight is going to be recorded. The slideshow is going to be on the website. So we're going to pan through very quickly some of the nitty-gritty. But some of the common questions from that survey were, like, what is life like daily at the high school? So here you go. We got 2 semesters. We've got 6 classes a day. And you need to get 22 credits to reach that previous slide of graduation your senior year. So it's not just 22 credits, there's breakdown, and this is the detail we're going to just cruise through. Oh, actually, I'm going to turn over to Ms. Cooey and then cruise through the details of each subject. So what do those 22 credits look like, Mrs. Cooey?
These are what they are. I thought this was at the end of those slides, but that's all right. All right, so you need 22 credits to graduate. 4 of them have to be English, so you can pretty much count on taking English every year of high school. 4 of them also are math, so if you pop down to math. Also need 4 years of math. Pretty much every year of high school you're going to be taking math. And then social studies, you need 3 credit. Typically, we're just trying to get everything out of the way as early as possible because we want to open up as many opportunities in senior year as we can. So freshman, sophomore, junior year, most likely you're taking social studies. And then for science, also 3 years of science. So you're going to get through those in your first 3 years of high school just to try to get those out of the way and open up those possibilities for senior year. You also need to have a 0.5 PE credit. So that means 1 semester, 1 class of PE. And we have lots of PE options. We have lifetime fitness, team sports, strength and conditioning. So our athletes really take advantage of those to even make us better athletes. And there's a few other ways that you can get those PE credits, but know that those are available for you and needed for graduation requirements. We also require all students to take a 1 semester of health, so make sure you figure out where you're going to get that in there, but you can take it any time between your freshman year and senior year, same with the PE. You're also going to have a credit that you will need for graduation called Adulting 101, which you're going to take in your junior year, so you don't have to worry about that now. But that's going to be an awesome class that's going to help prepare you to make sure that once you leave here, you'll be ready for the adult world. And that's what a lot of our students and parents say. Like, we want to make sure that our students are ready because there's one thing to learn about math, English, science, social studies. Sometimes it's hard to realize how much that connects to the real world. So that class kind of helps do that final step for students. You're also going to need 1 visual performing arts credit, which is the credit you need that will be anything where you're kind of like making something and presenting it. And so that includes things like band and art and things you might typically think of, but it also includes things like applied arts, like industrial technology classes, like home technology, General Metals, things like that. And also we have a ton of really amazing theater program, and we have a ton of really cool media production courses where you can like create our TV news, our CSTV programming, or some of our social media. So it's really cool that we have so many options for students to be able to pick from in the VPA realm. Then we also, the last credit that you'll need to get is a world language credit. The state of Michigan requires 2 years of the same world language. So wave to me if you're getting one done right now. You got French or Spanish going. Oh, I love all those good waves. All right, so you might get one this year. You want to sign up for the same one next year. Don't like jump ship, because it won't count. And there are some other options as well. If you're like, world language is rough for me, you have to take 1 year. But the second year can be subbed out with additional visual performing arts credits or KCTC. So a lot of colleges like to see 2 years, so it's good to have those, kind of plan for those. But no, there's other options as well. All right, personal curriculums we like to just touch on. So students will come to me and say, I don't think I can do this program. I was just talking to a parent who was like, my student didn't think she could do EMC and KCTC. I don't think I have any. I've got a lot of EMC students up here, so hey guys. That's the early middle college program where you get, we basically pay for an associate's degree for you, and you go one additional year of high school, but we pay if you're at college, and we pay for it all. But sometimes students will be like, I don't think I can do all the things I want to do. Please talk to your counselor, because we can take advantage of things like personal curriculums where Michigan says, these are the required classes you must have. But they do have some leniency. Like if there's something that you really are interested in and we can make some wiggle room with a personal curriculum, we're really happy to do that. So if you're wondering how you're going to fit it all in, that's a great place to be. But the counselors are super happy to help you figure that out. And personal curriculums are a way to do that. All right, I just want to make one comment before I move on to these. On the back table over here, there's just a little table. There's 4 stacks. It's exactly the same paper. But I just made a little scheduling survey that you guys can take on the way out. And it narrows down just what you have options for next year. So it tells you, like, you can pick from this class, this science class, or this science class, this English class, or this English class. If you're trying to figure out, like, that's a lot of classes for me to think about, grab this paper on the way out and just give yourself a little time to think about what are the things that are available for me next year, and so you can just pick out what you need. It also has on here the PE options and the VPA credits that we have for freshmen, but there is a note at the bottom that there's also a lot of other classes that freshmen can take. So be sure to check out our curriculum guide online for more details on any of these or descriptions of the classes you might see here. And get some ideas before you have to start scheduling. I think you guys are scheduling Monday and Tuesday next week. So you'll want to grab one of these, kind of make sure you know what you think you're going to be picking, and then access that curriculum guide. Will we have a link to the curriculum guide anywhere? Was it in the? Okay. If you Google, because I do this regularly, Cedar Springs High School Curriculum Guide, you will find it, because I sometimes have to pull it up because it's moved around in our website a bit. All right. So I also want to talk about some of the additional opportunities you have as students. There's AP programming. AP stands for Advanced Placement. And the cool thing about AP is that you're taking high school coursework and you're working towards learning about a topic that would be at college level. At the end, you take an exam. And if you can get a 3 or higher on the exam, it's out of 5, you can get college credit for free. So we pay for that. We have hired teachers. Our AP teachers are amazing. So we take advantage of it if you can. If you take those courses, take the test at the end, you can earn that college credit. The only one that you guys have available to you as freshmen is AP World History. So talk to your social studies teacher about that, because you'll want to just kind of hear what the opportunity is and if it's a good fit for you. Most of our AP classes are going to have a higher level of rigor with reading and writing, and there's going to be kind of an expectation that you can just read difficult texts and engage with them. But I know with AP World especially, Mr. Stewart is really amazing at helping you get the resources and the strategies and skills that you need to be prepared for all those future AP tests or AP classes you can take. Dual enrollment is where you can also, like, the best college is free college, and all these options are ways to get free college. Dual enrollment is an opportunity for you to take a college course, and it counts for high school credit and college credit. And basically, we pay for a certain amount of the course, which is usually most of the price of the course. Every year it changes a little bit, so when you get it, you'll have a form that'll have the total. But we pay for a large chunk of the course, if not all of it. And students will take it typically online, but sometimes on campus at the college, and just have the opportunity to kind of feel like what a college class is like, kind of on our dime. The risk with it is if you fail the course, you have to pay back for the class. So it's a little bit risky, but we try to help make sure that you have all the things in place to be ready, like a 2.5 GPA and things. So you meet with your counselor, talk it over, and make sure it's a good fit for you. And then the last program I already had mentioned was the early middle college program. So my early middle college students, can you raise your hand over here? So if you are interested in early middle college, once you hear me talk about it, or if you already knew about it coming in here, a lot of middle schoolers already kind of know that they're expecting it. They would be great people to talk about what it really feels like to be in the program. Do any of you guys want to say just a brief snippet about like what early middle college is, or do you want me to?
I can. Okay. Is my mic? Oh, good. Oh. Well, my name's Hope, and again, I'm a senior, and I've been in early middle college since sophomore year, which is when you start. And what early middle college is again, like Ms. Cooey said, just allows you to take college classes while you're in high school, and our school pays for it, which is really nice because college is not free normally. But what happens is they just pace out college courses, so then when you graduate high school, you have what they call a fifth year, which is the year after you graduate, which again, our school would pay for my college courses at GRCC, and then that year after I graduate from high school, I would graduate with an associate's degree from GRCC. After my graduation year, which will be this year, I'll graduate with 30 college credits, which is half of an associate's degree. So my sophomore year, I started with one of the hours of my high school day with a college class, which was a college professor coming from GRCC, coming and teaching me and about 20 to 30 other kids in our school. And then my junior year, we had 2-hour segment, like 2 one-hour segments. And then this year, we now have 3 classes that are in 2-hour blocks.
Thank you. Super helpful. I actually like hearing you explain it. That's kind of nice. All right, so you go for starting your sophomore year. So freshmen, be really thinking about your GPA because we start inviting you early on in your freshman year, and we're looking for students with about a 2.5 GPA or higher. So you want to be paying attention to keeping, your grades up, A, B's, and C's, kind of if you were looking for that early middle college opportunity. So we start communicating with you guys about halfway through that freshman first semester to let you know what the opportunity is coming because it starts in your sophomore year for early middle college. Once again, you go into a 5th year of high school, but you won't actually come into our building. You're going to college for that. And we're paying for the entire associate's degree. Dual enrollment, we pay for up to 10 college courses, but early middle college is 60 credits and a whole associate's degree, which is about 20 classes. So we are giving you quite a bit of bang for the buck on the early middle college. So you'll want to keep those in mind as you're thinking about scheduling. Just to make sure, like what I just try to remind families is try to get as much out of the way that's required early on to just make the most out of later opportunities. So what is on that checklist are kind of like the things that you've got to get out of the way as soon as possible. All right, I think that's all.
Yeah, let's do a little formative assessment here. Okay, we're not going to limit this to just the staff input. We're going to do a little game show. Let's see who is paying attention in the crowd. First question. How many credits do our students need to graduate? Hands raised. I'm going all the way to the rafters. Test my cardiovascular. Right here. Say your name, your parents' name, and why you're here.
My name's Luke Ball. My mom's name is Keena, and I'm here to learn some stuff.
How many credits do you need to graduate, Luke?
22.
Oh, can we shake it out for Luke? Next question, please. Whoa. Who can name 4 AP classes? Who can name 4 AP courses here at Cedar Springs High School? 4. This was the first hand I saw. Okay, hopefully you guys don't hear me breathing so hard into this microphone. It speaks to my cardio. Here we go. Your name, parents' name, and why you're here.
Owen Bell, and my parents' name is Annette Bell, and 4 classes that I
Whoa, why you here, Owen?
to learn stuff.
Seems like a canned answer, but we'll roll with it.
Okay. AP World, Algebra 2. AP Macro. Calculus.
Yes, AP Calculus. One more.
Trigonometry.
Can anybody help Owen out here? Anybody got one in the crowd? What do you got down here? We'll give it to him. Can we give that to him? It was offered in the past, right? No? Jeez, this is a rough crowd. AP Statistics. All right, shake it out for the whole crowd. Very competitive. Who can do EMC? Who? Maybe to put that into simpler terms, when can you start? When can you start early, middle, college? Here we go.
Do you have to say my name?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm Sophia Cinema. My dad is Brian Cinema, and I'm here to learn about high school. But sophomores, you can start it in sophomore year.
Right after your freshman year. Very good. Shake it out for Soph. Thank you. I think there's one more, right, Mr. J? Is this the last one? How does attendance impact grade? I don't know if we got into great detail. I guess you can maybe do it from a 30,000-foot view if you don't know the minutia. How does attendance impact grades? If you don't have the data or if you don't have the rubric, that's okay, but you can kind of... Okay, that's all right. All right, here we go. How does attendance impact your GPA? What's your name?
My name is Ryan Hess. My mom's name is Dana, and I was here because I was interested in what would happen at college or high school.
Great answer. How does attendance impact grades?
If you're not here, you miss stuff, and when you miss stuff, it impacts your grade because you can't turn in the work when you're not there.
Very good, Ryan. Shake it out for him. Shake it out for him. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm a very simple man, but it's hard to learn if you're not here, right? It's hard to learn if you're not here. The other thing I would say is I have seen this data point. Maybe you've seen it on billboards on the expressways. Students who miss just 2 days of school a month, their chance, this is research-based, this is national data, if you miss 2 or more days of school a month, your chance of graduation plummets. Think about that. Just 2 days a month. And again, I'm a simple man. If you're not here, it's hard to learn, and that's what we're here for. Teaching is for learning. I think that's the last one. Mr. J, should I turn it over to you for these last slides?
Absolutely. So as you're looking at scheduling, one thing that is different as of this current year is that Ag Bio is an option for freshman students. So if you are very passionate about agriculture and agri-science, and you would like to commit to the next 3 years of this track for agri-science, you can sign up for Ag Bio as a freshman. So that's one. If you have extra questions on that, please, feel free to email Mr. Willett. Feel free to reach out to your counselor. Feel free to ask Mr. Ray. But this is an option, and if you complete this program, you can get credits if you plan on going to an ag program at MSU. So it's another way to get some college credits while you're here at the high school. It's a different pathway than other science students might take, but it is an option if you are really passionate about agri-science. Anybody, no, none of you would be in the ag. Yeah, you want to talk more about it? You want to say something about it? Help us out here? It would be great if you want to talk to one of these guys about ag bio specifically afterwards. That's a great suggestion. Thank you. And, oh, the clicker not reach. There we go. So KCTC was mentioned up there earlier. This is a pretty extensive list of some of the options that KCTC offers. So Kent Career Tech Center, we've got some students that do KCTC as well. But if you feel like you are really passionate about any of these specific areas, it's very important in your freshman, sophomore year to make sure you take care of your core content areas, to make sure your GPA is up and where it should be, because a lot of these programs you need to apply to and get into and stay academically in good standing to continue with. So, KCTC, we have transportation down there. You can also, as a junior or senior, you can drive to and fro to KCTC. But again, your freshman and sophomore year are just really important to keep those doors open if any of these programs look of interest to you. There's some people having fun at KCTC. Okay, and we didn't really designate an individual. I can roll with it. So we talked about athletics. Mr. Moffitt's not here tonight, but we got a basketball game going. We have several different seasons of sports. So in the fall, we have a pretty full slate. Again, this whole slideshow is going to be on the website, so you can peek through here later and ask your questions to any of the linked emails. Winter offerings, and then our spring course, spring sports as well. Clicker game's struggling here. And then again, just a list of some clubs. If you came in here around anytime between 6:05 and 6:30 tonight, you saw the loop of our clubs that we offer. And if there are any clubs on this list that you do not see that you're interested in, there is a process with Mr. Moffitt to go through, and you can have a club started. That's how Cornhole Club is getting going this next week. Is a student was passionate about it. They got a leader for it. They got quite a few students to sign up for it, and now Cornhole Club is going to be a thing. So if there's anything not on this list that you're passionate about, you can get a club started yourself. Next slide. Okay. Ms. Cooey, you want to? I think we're going to have Mr. Ray hit this one, but just more of the scheduling as you get into this next week, heading into picking your classes.
All right, so you guys are scheduling, like I said, next Monday and Tuesday. I gave you a little cheat sheet to use. Grab it on the way out. So you can pick, and then you'll see where you can either pick Earth and Conceptual Physics or Ag Bio for Science, so that's kind of why we showed you that. If you're not any students who are interested in becoming a Cedar Springs High School student, but not currently a Cedar Springs Middle School student, anyone out there in the audience? Okay. So we would tell you how that would happen. If you need help on that, let us know. Scheduling is going to be open till February 9th. So you're going to schedule next Monday and Tuesday, and Mr. Ray is going to say, you have some time. So you're picking your best choices, and you might be like, yes, this is it, I'm done. Or you might be like, I want to go research some more. I always tell incoming freshmen, go talk to some high school students, go talk to your own teachers. Make sure you spend some time thinking about your courses, because we do have some schedule change policies where if you pick a class and you get put into that class, we might deny a schedule change request if we say, because we actually build our master schedule based on your requests. So we want to make sure that we're honoring those requests and making sure that we're having the right staffing for you guys. But it puts a little weight on you to make sure that you're picking the best classes for you and you're making really wise choices for what you want to take in that freshman year of high school. So we give you a little time after you pick it out to kind of come home, talk to parents, look it over. You can show them what you picked. If you want to get some more ideas about if there's anything you want to edit, you have until that February 9th, and then that disappears, and we start using it for us to build a master schedule on our end. The scheduling survey is what I was talking about. is where you can make sure you're thinking about really what you need to pick for freshman year and focusing in on those specific classes.
Appreciate you. All right, we're going to put a bow on this tonight, and we're right on time, to which I very much appreciate. I'm going to put it into simple terms because I'm a simple person. I think scheduling here at Cedar Springs High School is a little bit of Burger King and a lot of Old Country Buffet. Let that marinate. So you know Burger King's moniker, right? You can have it your way. To a point here at Cedar Springs High School. To a point, it's a little bit of, we mix in a little bit of the BK, but it's a lot of bit of Old Country Buffet. You know what I mean? You want some more? How about a little bit of this? How about a little bit of that? You like yams? How about the cheesy casserole? You know where I'm going with this. There are so many options here at Cedar Springs High School, and you're just at the tip of the iceberg. Parents, students, as you leave here, don't let the dialogue stop at the door. Keep talking. If you're really hard up for time, watch the video again. But more than anything, access the slideshow. Look at our curriculum guide on our website, csredhawks.org. And if you have questions, please call me. Call me. Reach out. We'll connect you to the brains of the operation. We'll get you in touch with somebody who can help you. We want to make sure that this is a positive Old Country experience, not one where you're rushing home, you know what I mean, to use the facilities. We want this to be a positive experience for you as you choose your next steps and you reach towards your goals, okay? I'd be totally remiss if I didn't again shake it out for some folks. First of all, in the back, DJ Spice Grizz and Coach H, can we give a shake out for the AV tonight? I want to shake it out here shortly for Mrs. Mack and her educators from Red Hawk Intermediate. You parents know what it's like when you drop the kids off to the grandparents when they're babysitting. You know, it's kind of like, all right, see you later, we're out. They're choosing to hang on just a little bit longer to make sure they get their kids set up for success. And I so respect and appreciate our 8th grade team. I want to thank my teammates from Coach Duffy to Mr. Price from Mrs. Paoni all down the line, Mrs. Cooey, and obviously the heartbeat of this place, the ones who are building a champions culture, the ones who take ownership of this place every day, our students. Can we shake it out for them? As we put a bow on this, if you would like a tour of this building, please connect with one of these 8 champions. They'll take you to places in this structure I may not even know exist. They'll show you all the secret places. They'll show you how to get to places quicker so you don't get tardies, etc. If you have specific questions about scheduling, etc., please see Mrs. Cooey or Mr. Johns. Or if you want to know the history of this building, see Coach Duffy. We're here for you. We're here to help you reach your personal best. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Go Cedar.